The Bing app, now available on Android and iOS, is about efficiency over extravagance. It's on your phone, so it's not about essay writing, compiling code, or making funny poems in French. It's about taking search to the next level. There are 4 levels of search, increasing in power and requisite intelligence, and Google is pretty much only able to do level 1, and even then not always. Bing can do all 4. Let me show you in this video exactly what I mean, taking you through all 4 levels of search. By the end, I honestly think I'm going to persuade you that smartphones just got upgraded permanently. Just quickly, how does it look on mobile? Well, if you open up the app, you will see at the bottom a Bing button. On any web page, just like you can in the Edge browser, you can press on the Bing button and open up Bing Chat. You then have 2 options. You can ask it questions via the microphone or via the keyboard. For example, you could ask, "Who is currently 7th in the Premier League?"
Searching for Premier League table. According to the Premier League table, Brighton and Hove Albion is currently 7th in the league with 35 points from 22 games played. They have scored 39 goals and conceded 29 goals, giving them a goal difference of 10.
That's another fascinating difference with Bing on mobile. It actually speaks to you. I wouldn't call it cutting edge text to voice, but we're just getting started. But you're probably wondering, how does this transform search? How does this upgrade our smartphones? Well, this is just a level 1 search. We are retrieving 1 bit of information. And even on this front, Bing does better than Google. The exact same question into Google gives a generalized formula about the Premier League and what 7th place means. Bing understands exactly what I want and gives the correct answer. But I will admit, if we were just comparing level 1 searches, Bing wouldn't be that much of an upgrade. You could always click on a link to a table and see for yourself where Brighton are. Maybe you're saving a few seconds with Bing, but not really a big difference. But just wait until we get to level 3 and even level 4 and beyond searches. And now you guys are ready for level 2 searches. And what do I mean by that? This time we are retrieving 2 bits of disparate data, but we want to do it at the same time, not doing 2 separate searches. By the way, I'm typing these searches into Bing Desktop so you can see them more clearly, but of course it would be even quicker to ask them with my voice into Bing on mobile. I asked, what are the ages of the Eiffel Tower and the Empire State Building? And look at the difference. I can clearly see the 2 results on the left in Bing, but on the right, I'm going to have to click on at least 2 links and scroll through the data. You can just begin to imagine the number of searches this could apply to, and we're only on level 2. The next example of a level 2 search would be to retrieve a bit of information and do something to it. For example, I asked both Bing and Google, if Microsoft's market cap doubled, what would it be? There are 2 stages to that question. First, it has to retrieve Microsoft's current market cap, then it has to double it. Bing gets the answer, Google doesn't even show the market cap, not immediately at least. But even here, I know some of you will be thinking, I could just type in market cap, find the source, get out a calculator and double it. What's the big problem? Yes, maybe you save 30 seconds, but what's the big deal? Well, we haven't even gotten to level 3 or level 4 searches yet. So what is an example of a level 3 search? Imagine you're on your smartphone and you're considering the Adobe Creative Cloud. And imagine you wanted to know just how much more expensive it would be over, say, a couple-year time period than DaVinci Resolve. You could press the Bing button and ask this. According to this page, if I got the individual account for 2 years, how much more expensive would that be in pounds than the one-off payment for DaVinci Resolve 18? Now, as I've talked about in my other Bing Chat playlist videos, it understands the context in which you're asking the question. It knows you mean this Adobe Creative Cloud individual plan. It correctly multiplies this for 2 years and then compares the total to DaVinci Resolve's price. Now, initially, I thought it had made a mistake because when I quickly checked on Google, DaVinci Resolve costs £255. But then when I click to buy it, it adds on VAT, which makes it £306 in the UK. So in a way, that's another win for Bing. It understood about adding on VAT. But what makes this a level 3 search is it did all of that work. It retrieved the 2 bits of information in context and then compared them, then subtracted them, giving us a difference of £941 in the price over 2 years. And of course, you could carry on this conversation with Bing about the pros and cons of each package. For some of these searches, I am not even going to try it in Google because it would completely flop. Level 3 searches are about much more than this though. Imagine you're standing on the Euston Road and you want to get to central London. You could conduct a level 3 search using Bing. The question might be, how much longer would it take to get the Underground from King's Cross to Piccadilly Circus than from Euston to Oxford Circus? Or how much longer would it take to go from King's Cross to Hyde Park Corner than from Euston to Victoria? These are all journeys that I make on a regular basis, and I can confirm that the results are accurate. Why is this level 3? Because it had to retrieve the information about one journey, then the other, and then make the comparison. But are level 3 searches all about addition and subtraction? No, check this out. You could ask, how much bigger are polar bears than brown bears and why? Google would have to do 3 things and it just isn't up to it. You'd have to find the size of the average polar bear, the size of the average brown bear, and then do an analysis of why polar bears are bigger. Not just a mathematical comparison, but an understanding, a comprehension, an explanation of the whys. Think of level 3 as adding a when, where, why, and how to level 2 searches. The answer, by the way, is quite interesting. So polar bears can weigh up to 1,700 pounds versus 1,320 pounds. But we didn't just want to know that, we wanted to know the reason why. And apparently the reason why is, and I can believe this, is that they need more body mass and fat to survive in the cold Arctic environment. They also have a bigger skull and larger teeth to hunt seals. So now I've got more of an idea not just how much bigger they are, but why it is through evolution that they ended up being bigger. But we have waited long enough. What about level 4 searches? Well, think about a complex, interesting search like this. How much older is Stonehenge than the Colosseum in Rome expressed in human lifetimes? Bing has to do 4 things. Find the age of Stonehenge, the age of the Colosseum, the difference between them, divided by the average human lifetime. It does this successfully, and we have a really interesting result. That is about 38 human lifetimes older, if we take the older date for Stonehenge. That is an insane level of intelligence for a single search. Now we're genuinely talking about saving a minute or more compared to using Google. That is a big enough difference to really matter. And that's not the only example I could give you of a level 4 search. I'm sure you could tell me hundreds of ideas in the comments, but try this one. Going back to the Premier League, I could ask, if Arsenal beat Leicester and Man City draw Bournemouth, how many points ahead would Arsenal be? I didn't have to specify Premier League, I didn't have to say fixture, and of course I didn't have to tell it the rules of the Premier League about 3 points for a win, etc. It knew exactly what I was asking, calculated the 2 results, found the league positions, and then found the difference. Now, you don't have to be into sport to know that that's an amazing answer to a complex search query. Think about how this applies to your domain, your career, your interests, and come up with some level 4 searches that you could ask. Which brings me on to my final point. The question for every smartphone user will be, is the small but real risk of hallucinations more meaningful to me than the additional seconds and minutes required to perform multiple searches? For me, the answer is already yes. But clearly what we decide will depend on the topic, right? For sport, it's fine. For maybe a life-changing house decision, maybe not.